Welcome to Trashmagination, a podcast about reimagining trash. I'm Carla Brown. In today's episode, we'll talk about the creative reuse of skateboards. We'll learn about artists who take old skateboards and make them into other things. At the end of the podcast, I will share project ideas that you could make yourself, even if you don't have an interest in woodworking. And we'll talk about skateboards made from recycled materials. For those who don't skateboard, here's some helpful vocabulary. The flat part of the skateboard is called the deck. Most skateboard decks are made of glue and wood, usually maple, but some decks incorporate aluminum or fiberglass. The deck is made from a series of layers or veneers coated with glue and then shaped into the skateboard design. These veneers are often multicolored, so that when you cut into the deck, you get a rainbow effect. And just like a rainbow, most skateboards are made from 7 layers of veneer. On top of the deck is grip tape, which is like sandpaper and provides traction for the skateboarder's shoes. The other parts of the skateboard are the trucks, which are the metal parts that attach the deck to the wheels, and then the wheels, which are usually made from polyurethane, a synthetic rubber polymer. Creatively reusing skateboards uses the same tools and skills as many other woodworking crafts. One big, tedious difference is that you have to remove the grip tape from the deck before you can make them into anything new. And removing grip tape is very difficult. Some people try to heat up the glue with a heat gun, but mostly it involves a lot of hard work and patience. Creative reuse of skateboard decks is not a hobby that you could start quickly if you have not done woodworking before and don't have a lot of woodworking power tools. It requires heavy-duty hydraulic presses, huge band saws, and table-mounted belt sanders. But if you are interested in woodworking, there are a lot of inspiring artists for you to learn about. So let's get started. The best-known artist who works with recycled skateboards is Haroshi. One of his recent sculptures was a huge hand giving the middle finger. In the photos, it looks like it's about 6 feet tall. He also makes little abstract humanoid sculptures called guzo. The colorful layers of veneer in the skateboard really accentuate the curves in his sculptures. Martinus and Adrian Pool are brothers located in Canada who specialize in recycling skateboards into lots of other things. They make bowls cut on a wood lathe. To make the bowls, they glue together a stack of skateboard decks into a big cube. The lathe spins that cube at top speed, and the brothers use a very sharp tool to shape the bowl. They also make this awesome coffee table, which curves down, and they make mosaic art from diamond shapes. Another Canadian skateboard creative reuse artist is John Gibson from Second Shot. John cuts skateboards into incredibly tiny pieces to make itsy-bitsy mosaics, small enough to be on a watch face. Nick Pourfard from Prisma Guitars specializes in making electric guitars from recycled skateboards. When he started, it would take him 6 months to make a guitar, and now he can make one in a day. One of the reasons I love Nick's work is because he talks about how the skater puts energy into the skateboard, and then that energy is transferred into the guitar, and then the musicians feel that energy when they play the guitar. Another person who works at Prisma Guitar, Michael Svensson, talks about how sometimes skateboarding is an illegal activity in certain areas. And when we do creative reuse, we are not usually doing something illegal, but we are questioning the rules about how we are supposed to use a certain material. Inge Guzyte cuts up skateboards and puts the pieces together to make portraits. Some are realistic portraits, and others look like cartoon characters. I love her portraiture from recycled skateboards. Jason Podlaski from Deckstool makes a lot of things from recycled skateboards. Of course, he makes stools. He also makes wall panels or tiles that feature the distinctive urban art found on skateboards. Sometimes the tiles are squares or rectangles, and other times they are made to look like fish scales by using the rounded toe or heel from the skateboards. He designed something called the skate hook, which looks like half a skateboard with a piece that folds out and forms a hook for your coat. Lindsay Jo Holmes from Maple XO makes jewelry, such as earrings, bangles, and necklaces from recycled skateboards. And now, Maple XO is offering earrings made from sliced skateboard wheels. And there are not many artists that I found that have found a way to creatively reuse the wheels. So that's pretty cool. Dave Baczynski from Shape 3 makes canoe paddles, barbecue skewers, and cribbage boards. He gives back to his skateboarding community in Lowell, Massachusetts by building out the local skate park, and he goes there to pick up the broken boards to make more stuff. Those artists are doing incredible things with skateboards. And next I'll mention some projects that you could do with a recycled skateboard, even if you don't want to get into serious woodworking. I saw a few tutorials by interior designers who made shelves from skateboards mounted on the wall with L brackets. Often they are not using recycled skateboards, but instead miniature ones from a discount store. These designers also creatively reused wheels and metal trucks from skateboards to make drawer pulls on a dresser or hooks on the wall. Another project to creatively reuse a skateboard involves making a swing, where you can either sit on the deck or you could stand on the deck if you hang it lower and closer to the ground. This requires only very minimal woodworking skills and tools. Next, I'll share info about designers who are making skateboards from recycled materials. George Roca from Iris Skateboards makes skateboards from recycled skateboards. It's not easy. He was actually inspired by the artist Haroshi, who I mentioned earlier. His skateboards were featured on the TV show How It's Made, and I'll put the episode in the show notes. While most skateboards rely on grip tape to provide traction, Iris Skateboards instead apply a layer of crushed recycled glass in the epoxy. And that way, you can still see the beautiful colors of the wood veneer layers through the glass. George also makes surfboards from recycled skateboards and from a recycled foam core. The bucket board is a project by artist Mac Primo and skateboard maker Dawn Sanford to make skateboards from plastic buckets that they find in dumpsters. This project figured out how to make it work, and then they give the skateboards to kids who wouldn't normally be able to afford a skateboard. They make the boards from those recycled plastic buckets that you put paint in, and then people donate $100 per skateboard for the trucks, wheels, grip tape, and helmets. And then Bucket Board hands out the boards to kids who would love to have a skateboard. A company named Burio is making skateboard decks from recycled fishing nets gathered from fishing communities in Chile. The deck is called the Minnow, and this deck is sold with wheels, also made from recycled materials. In this case, the wheels are made from 30% recycled vegetable oil and 100% recycled cores. This company also sells a version of the game Jenga, made from recycled fishing nets. Grow Anthology makes longboards from recycled paper combined with a resin to make it waterproof. Longboards are like skateboards, but longer, and they are generally used more for cruising than for doing tricks. Grow Anthology plants a tree for every one of their longboards sold. Thank you for listening. Please let me know if you have creatively reused a skateboard at trashmagination@gmail.com. You can see more inspiration about the creative reuse of skateboards at the Trashmagination Pinterest board. Until next time, may you see skateboards as a source of art in your life.